radio station.
Welcome to Fort Fritz, your one-stop for news, current events, and all forms of entertainment relating to the paranormal, the supernatural, the Fortean, and things that go bump in the night, all packaged and presented in the form of know-nothing, know-it-alls, entertaining the unknown. Hello, I am Fritz, joined as always by co-host Mandaddy.
Hi.
And Kaz.
Howdy.
Angela has the night off.
I miss you, Angela.
Guess what? Scientists think they're on the brink of discovering a mirror universe. So what do you know about parallel universes? Mandaddy.
Well, I mean, it's always been a common thought that there has to be more than just what we're experiencing now. And so some would say the afterlife could be looked at as a parallel dimension, but when it comes to this, there's possibilities of multiple dimensions. So every single thought you make, every decision you make could splinter off into other realities.
Is there a Star Trek episode you might be able to
like half a dozen, but I can't think of any right off the top of my head.
Well, this is from BigThink.com, and the article is all about a mirror universe. In the original Star Trek episode Mirror, Mirror,
okay,
the crew of the Enterprise are accidentally transported to a parallel universe. Dubbed the Mirror Universe, its denizens are evil doppelgangers of the crew, complete with garish uniforms, Nazi-like salutes, and full, robust goatees.
Oh, yeah. The evil people always have a goatee. If you don't have a goatee, the evil version of you has a goatee.
The most evil facial hair that exists, for sure.
That probably is, right?
Yeah. Satan always has like a goatee. Whenever Satan comes to Earth and he's like smartly dressed in his suit, he's always got a goatee on.
Clean shaved Satan is a good name for a ska band.
Clean shaved skating.
Clean shaved skating. Even on those little like adorable deviled eggs like cans, they still have that little beguiling goatee.
My bassist has that tattooed on his neck.
Really?
He has that tattooed on his neck. That's how much my bassist cares about deviled ham.
I mean, they're really, really good, I guess. So, if there is proof that a mirror universe is found, it might take away a lot of questions in physics as far as like how matter is transposed, what the hell is going on. It could also give rise to, I guess, conspiracy theories.
What, like that maybe that universe is poking into ours?
Yeah.
Or that dimension, excuse me. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure the Star Trek show Discovery is basically in a mirror universe of Star Trek lore. So they kind of go back and forth with how they can mess with the lore that way. And the data. You get it, data, lore, Star Trek nerds.
Like an interesting way to think about like parallel dimensions or multiple dimensions. I always thought about it like what is lightning or a cloud to you?
Yeah,
right?
so lightning
like, from
would
what
be
perspective
an
are you viewing this thing?
Exactly. Electrons?
It's a charge of exchange of electrons from ground to cloud or cloud to cloud.
Right, but you experience it as this like flash or this like bolt of like electricity, right? You don't see the interactions, this like electron,
you see the static
reaction happening, right? You see, you experience it in one facet, right? It's the flat man, flat Earth, flat.
Oh God, I don't know.
The Carl Sagan flat people, flat realm.
Oh, like
flat people got no reason to live. That was Randy Newman, I think.
Flat people. I hate flat people. These two-dimensional people walking around thinking they got it all.
So this was profiled by New Scientist at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee, where the first atomic testing ever happened, I think, in the history of the U.S. They have devised an apparatus that will fire beams of neutrons at a wall with varying magnetic fields on both sides. So these neutrons can penetrate the wall. In addition to that, they've placed a device behind that wall that will scan the area for these extremely small subatomic particles to see if they get blasted off into any direction. And if any neutrons do make it past that wall, it'll be evidence that these mirror neutrons skipped right on past the wall and existed in a different part of the universe in crazy quackery.
What about the observer's paradox? Is that going to be a problem with
that's
that?
What I was just thinking, exactly. Well, that's like kind of another way to look at that experiment, right? Like, where does the thing go when it's not? What have we observed, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and how does our observation change it?
This kind of goes off into the deep end of what we see with our own eyes and believe with our own heads. Monster hunters coming to Ireland in search of mythical eel with, quote, head like a horse, unquote. And that's from...
eel with a head like a horse.
You got that right,
Head
my
like
man?
a horse. It's an eel.
No, okay, we'll workshop it.
It's got legs.
There's
But
something-
eels don't.
I'd
There's
rather
something
die
there.
than
Dang.
give you my tail.
All right.
Where does it tail start on an eel? It's all tail.
After the lungs, I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. This is from irishmirror.ie. Monster hunters coming to Ireland in search of mythical eel with head like a horse. So when we get into cryptid talks, a lot of the times we get into the fantastic realm of, well, maybe it could be, right? Who are we to say no? Unlike any other really cryptid tale, this all starts with folklore.
No.
Yep. There's a museum that opened in 1992 about this eel, but the last proper investigations were carried out back in the late 1960s for this eel that is 10 to 30 feet long.
10 to 30? So it's a big eel. It's a big eel.
To bang a horse, you're going to need to be a pretty big eel.
pretty big eel. Thank you. They can crawl across the land. And the most famous sighting was about a 30-foot eel in 1954.
And does it have a name? They always have like cute names like Nessie or whatever.
It doesn't, but in Canada...
It's gotta!
Horsehead eel. I mean, that's
gotta
like...
have a name for that thing. Like Frank the Eel or something.
Nope, nothing cute like that at all. But,
It's been around since the 60s. No one's named the thing. Poor eel.
I know. Nope.
Horse eel.
Horse eel with no name. Hanging in Ireland with the horse eel, no name.
So you can check that out at irishmirror.ie. Monster hunters coming to Ireland in search of mythical eel with head like a horse. But in Canada, they have a really cool name for their local Loch Ness monster. Does anyone know what it is?
No.
Is that not Okie? No. What is it?
It's a nickname for it.
No, what is it?
Ogopogo.
Ogopogo. Damn, that's close.
Nice.
I knew it was an
That
O
was
thing.
close. It's a cool name.
It's a great name.
Ogopogo is the Canadian Loch Ness monster, and there is a video of it, and I would love to play it for you guys right now.
Ooh.
Love the video evidence of the cryptids.
So this is the
Makes great radio.
an Okanagan man. Shut up, man. An Okanagan man says he has hard evidence that Okanagan Lake's Ogopogo is more than just a myth.
What is it?
Jim LaRock says he couldn't believe his eyes. Mysterious ripples breaking through Skaha Lake's glassy surface near Caledon on June 1st.
And all I heard was like a swooshing sound, like swoosh, swoosh.
He scrambled to pull out his cell phone and
His
hit
swoosh game
record
is tight.
as his son
He's helping
waited
us out
on a
with the description of this
paddleboard
video.
nearby.
He turns and sees a flipper
There's his
come
son?
up out of the water and hit the water.
There's definitely like a few
Take
people out
another
there,
look.
too.
LaRock believes this mysterious
Whoa.
wake is actually 7 fins paddling in sync.
It definitely looks like,
it
So if
yeah.
you flip
Yeah.
the dragon boat,
At first, I thought maybe
Upside down.
ducks.
you would see all those oars kind of coming out
Like
of the
ducks
water.
just being silly like geese.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so this is, they reckon it's about 100 feet long.
Getting in some deep science now with your reckoning.
They say it's not quite across the holler, as you see.
It's about a frog.
About a frog across the holler, I'd reckon.
What is happening?
But it's just, you don't want to know. I feel ashamed. So this is the Ogopogo, and if you want, this video is really, really cool. It's from Global News, Global BC. It's from YouTube. If you want to see it, go to realradio.fm, click Fort Fritz, and
Shows and blogs.
Might be a tough fake. I feel like normally when we see the supernatural on video, we can always kind of like, oh, they got fishing line behind, they slammed the door, etc. This would be another elaborate fake.
Yes.
It would have to be,
or also a number of things it could be. I mean, they could just be, a series of waves
NSYNC
that just happen to be. But yeah, the in-syncness is weird. I can even see Justin
the little
Timberlake.
flippers coming out. Yeah, like the
Then
flippers
what-
coming out kind of like in a swimming motion.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
together
this
is weird.
This definitely looks like a long organism, or it could be thousands of individual organisms, like the one crazy South Pacific entity that like links up like jellyfish. It could be like
Man-o-war?
Yeah, kind of like that.
120 feet long. He's convinced it's the most
Something dragging some
conclusive
seaweed,
evidence
maybe.
yet of the
It's
legendary
pretty good
lake
video.
serpent.
It's pretty
But
good
this
video.
is,
Right?
in my opinion, a definitive
Yeah, that looks-
Ogopogo sighting. Watch this.
Horrible hair.
Well, let's see if anyone else
Denim
has a
everywhere.
differing
It's Canada.
opinion.
Definitely
Colleagues
Canada.
Lot
at
of
his
denim.
liquor store clamoring to get a glimpse for themselves.
Oh, he's got a liquor store, you don't say.
Oh,
Weird.
really?
It's not like normal waves. It's
At first, I was thinking maybe just waves, but
Right.
there's obviously something more there.
Totally.
See the bugs? The eye?
Self-proclaimed legend hunter
Self-
Bill Stacy.
self-proclaimed.
I'd like to see
Legend
two
hunter.
self-proclaimed in there.
sightings of the elusive lake monster.
So let's hear
he
it.
says he's personally seen it twice in 2015 and back in 1978.
Well, it's certainly an interesting video.
Oh,
Right?
love
The
him.
Kelowna
Love that guy.
retiree
Bill
is
Sticker.
skeptical of LaRocque's alleged sighting, given its location and size.
There's never been really any reports of anything that big.
I believe it's something that I will call an Ogopogo wave.
This UBCO
Oh, who's this guy?
environmental scientist
Hey,
says
he's got
there
a
could be
classroom, man. Look at him.
Theory
where's-
of bizarre disturbance.
I
I think it's
sorry.
a product of overturn.
Dr. Robert Young.
that happens seasonally, where lake layers of different temperatures and depths will pass each other.
And while mythology may
Okay.
trump logic for some people, if anything, it proves the legend is very much alive.
Got that.
I
right.
love
the way
that
she pronounces
voice.
everything. I'm speaking this way, and I don't know why.
So that is the Ogopogo. What do you guys think? Kind of looked like fins.
It looked
And
finny.
that's-
It looked Finnish.
Things were coming out of the water rhythmically.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to be just something dragging itself. Now, that
I
being
have seen
said,
waves do similar sort of things, but that just did seem like there was something in it. It had more of that. It seemed to have a little more meat to it.
and I mean, we can't
sure.
rule out that there's, some like really like into it, animatronic robotics guy out there who's just
Faker.
Faker.
swimming his fake like Ogopogo out there, and
And at the same time, how sad is that?
kinda
What do you do?
That's kinda
well,
cool.
I mean, I got a lot of spare time, so I make robotic fake Ogopogos just to make people think Opogo's around, and that's what I do.
I'm totally
we
gonna
need
be,
that guy though.
Yeah, we do. I'm totally going to be on
Keeping
that
magic alive.
on that 1 hour radio show in Orlando, Florida called Fort Fritz. It's going to be awesome. And on that note, coming up, Kaz, you've seen Dune, the movie,
Correct.
for the first time. And you also have a whole bunch of awesome things. You finished Good Omens, and I'm going to leave it from there.
Okay.
And Mandaddy, you did something.
Yeah, I did. I did things.
What'd you do?
I'm not sure.
Coming
I'm
up.
trying to remember it.
We'll hear all about it. You're listening to Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1.
Just do your segment, trying to remember what you've done.
Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1.
Follow the light. The light is your guide. I'm controller of planet X. And I've invited you here to discuss something that's very important.
King Ghidorah, take me to your leader. Quick to claim that he not no snake.
Welcome back to Fort Fritz Live. I'm here with host Fritz,
Heyo.
Mandaddy,
Hi.
and Kaz. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Kaz.
Hey guys. So we are going to talk about some spooky movie reviews and movie things, etc. But we'd like you to follow us on social media platforms, and I don't know how to do those things, but you know who does? Mandaddy. Mandaddy knows all those things.
It's real easy. You easer?
You easer? Okay, first of all, I have no idea
Easer.
what that is, so I'm lost.
Well, you got to take it gently.
So it's real easy. You just use your magic phone or your computer at home. Look for us on Facebook. We're just at Fort Fritz. Look for us on Instagram, Fort Fritz. You can find us on Twitter, Fort Fritz MCT. That way you can find us. You can follow us. All of our stuff's on YouTube. Also, it's just a static image, but you can watch and listen to us on YouTube. So listen to us, follow us, share us, let other people know about Fort Fritz. Bring more people into the fort. As the fort grows mightier, so shall you.
Are Twitter people get in contact with the Fort Fritz nothing guy, the guy who just has Fort Fritz, so we can be the real Fort Fritz instead of Fort Fritz MCT? Because I would prefer to just be Fort Fritz, and I don't know who that guy is.
No, I kind of like it now.
You like MCT?
Yeah, I do.
You want to keep it?
It's the Mooncast Troop for those in the know.
That's what it stands for.
Yep.
Mooncast Troop. Okay. All right. Well, so scratch that Twitterverse.
Leave it be. Leave it be, Twitterverse. That's how you follow us. But what should we be following and listening to and watching, and what's your opinion on things, Kaz?
Well, I bumped into a classic movie last night. I was just kind of scrolling around, and I saw that Dune was on Amazon Prime, and I've been...
The David Lynch Dune.
The David Lynch Dune.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it was a 2-hour-long cut. Apparently there are different edits of this movie, but I thought it was fantastic. I kind of sat there not really expecting a whole lot, and I was blown away. Like, couple minutes in, I'm like, all right, 80s kind of sci-fi movie, and I understood vaguely just through cultural osmosis like what the story kind of was, or what was it about. But I was blown away. It kept taking me on
visually, it's
fantastic,
so
right?
fantastic. Yeah,
the Baron, the whole thing with the Baron like floating around,
Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah,
oh yeah, the blood. Plugs.
The blood plugs was such a cool thing.
That's not in the book. That's the thing is when you read the books versus that movie, there's a bunch of stuff that's different. There's a bunch of stuff that was added just for the movie that's nowhere in the books.
Okay, so tell me, I'm lost. Tell me a little bit about Dune.
So Dune is a interplanetary or galactic, I guess, space drama about the opera, if you will, about these warring houses and control of a certain substance that is only found on one planet, Arrakis.
Yes, Dune, Arrakis,
and Arrakis, Arrakis, also known as Dune.
This substance is spice.
The spice melange.
Yeah, and it appears to be some type of drug or some type of nutritional supplement that you can put into your body, and then eventually over time you get these cool glowy blue eyes. But it expands your consciousness or something. Is that what we're to believe?
Expands consciousness, allows you to fold space.
Okay. Well, so I thought that the folding of the space was only because he drank the water of life.
No, folding of the space is with the navigators.
Right, the weird worm baby thing.
No, the big giant things that they wheel in. That allows for interplanetary travel. That's where because they can fold space. Those are actually just people that have taken spice to the level that they become these things, and that they can fold space, and that's how they move from interplanetary so quickly.
It was so cool.
See when he drinks the water of life. That's what I can keep going on, but please continue.
Let him do it.
It was amazing.
Let Kaz have his fun, Mandaddy.
Well, so yeah, I guess that would be a point that I would want to clear up on any. I wanted to check out the series because at this point it seemed like there wasn't enough time for them to flesh out this full story.
Oh god,
it kind of just ended. And I
was
wanted
it a
to
good
find
movie
out more.
though?
Oh god, it was fantastic. The visually just striking. The acting was really well done. I thought it was gonna kind of throw me off to have like a lot of effects and CG, or like not even really CG, but like just visual effects. And they were really well done. Like it still kind of held up. Like you could tell, but the sort of scope and the magnitude of like the worms coming out of like the desert and stuff seemed very,
it doesn't ever take you out of
horrible and terrifying. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, at no point was I like, oh god, this is cheesy, like old school CG. And it was made in 1984.
Yeah,
directed by David Lynch, based on the 1965 Frank Herbert novel.
Best-selling science fiction novel of all time.
Really?
Yes.
It was a box office failure.
Pretty much, yeah. It did not do well in the box office.
And
it's gaining a cult following, and that people are revisiting and going, you know what? It's just people weren't ready for it.
The movie?
Yeah, people weren't ready for it.
The reviews I saw were pretty middling. Like I went back and looked, it's getting like 6 out of 10s and stuff like that. It's not doing too well, I guess, like on the internet. But I didn't see why. I really enjoyed it. I was thoroughly entertained from beginning to end, and several notable performances. Jürgen Prochnow in it. I actually remember when I guess we can do spoilers. The movie came out in 84.
Yeah.
When he's on like his like deathbed in front of the bear, and the Baron's like gloating over him, and they have Rabban, like the
Prince Rabban. It's Rabin.
Yeah, the big guy
Rabban.
who like takes over the colony. Yeah. He's got this like little juice box. Do you remember the scene in the movie?
Oh god,
is that a thing in the book? He's got a juice, like a clear juice box. It looks like a little obelisk, but you can see inside of it, and there's this tiny little creature inside, and he like presses this plunger down, and it smashes the creature, and the juice comes out of the bottom of this thing, and he like drinks it. Like, I thought that was just such a cool little touch.
That's one of the things the movie does so well, is little things like that, just the way things look and just the way things are styled.
Right, it was just one off. Like, it wasn't like an entire storyline based on this. It was just this little thing that kind of happened in the background. It was like very, I don't know, like I said, very visually striking, very cool movie.
So out of 7 Kaz beard pools, what would you give it?
This is going to go up 6.5, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah,
6.5 out of 7. Nice.
I didn't know it was directed by David Lynch when I went in too, and I was really not disappointed at all. It was fantastic. I really like that movie.
It also has Kyle MacLachlan, who was the guy who orders the coffee and the apple pie in Twin Peaks, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been in so much. He plays
Is it cherry pie or apple pie?
Cherry pie, I think. I think it's cherry pie.
Is it?
I think
Dean
so.
Stockwell was in it. No, from Quantum Leap.
Oh.
Jean-Luc Picard's in it.
Jean-Luc Picard's in it.
Jeez.
Can't wait for that show. I saw Dune the weekend it opened.
All right.
And when you went the weekend it opened, that's how complex this movie is. They actually gave you a sheet of information that explained certain terms and,
cool.
like laid out some of the things. So it actually gave you a primer when you went in back in the day, because that's how thick the story itself is. The books, read the book. Just read them. Oh, they're so good.
Definitely heard that before. And I need to. That's another one of the series I need to pick up.
Kaz, you also said that you watched Good Omens?
Good Omens, correct. I've been talking about that a lot. David Tennant and Charlie Sheen.
Crazy casting.
Frances McDormand.
David Tennant, Michael Sheen. Frances McDormand actually does the narrator, I believe.
Cool.
Yeah.
She's God.
Right. The voice of God or whatever. So yeah, it was really good. Really true to the book for the most part. They kind of obviously didn't have enough time to go into everything. You can't, but it was fantastic. The casting was really, really good. And that David Tennant guy, I hadn't really seen him in much before this. I didn't do Doctor Who or any of that, but he blew me away. The man is extremely talented.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, it was, and just a lot of fun, really good pacing. The end kind of, like, for me, like, petered out a little bit, but, I mean...
As in, is it true to the ending of the book, or is it just the way it was done?
Yeah, for the most part, it's just the way it was done.
Okay.
It seemed to be very... Not rushed, I guess, but just that, it was clear that they were going to need to wrap all this up, and there wasn't going to be this, kind of overblown ending. But yeah, it was.
And this is Neil Gaiman.
Gaiman
and Terry Pratchett.
And TP.
Based on the
as you call him, TP.
My boy TP.
What up, baby?
Based on the novel
this
of the same
world
thing.
for life.
So I highly recommend it. I give it this one's going to give it 6.2.
Nah, that's a great one too.
Still up there. This is good. Definitely watchable.
It's on Amazon Prime. How many episodes and how long are they?
6 episodes, and I believe they're all about an hour long.
Only 6?
Yeah.
See, that's so much doodle. The new Jessica Jones just came out, and I love Jessica Jones, but just 13 hour-long episodes seems so much longer now for some reason.
David Tennant was also in Jessica Jones.
Yes, he played Kilgrave.
I don't know if you're right.
Kilgrave.
I have a computer right here, but it's acting up. So
yeah, it's Kilgrave.
It's probably just telling you the wrong stuff, just to spite you.
I'm sorry.
So the other thing that I ended up watching, which is a little bit more cheesy, Robo Vampire. Did you guys ever like?
What? No.
I'm on board.
So I'll give you the quick.
How and yes.
The quick.
When and now.
10-second overview. Narcotics agent Tom Wilde is given a second chance at life after being shot and killed in a futuristic experiment. Agent Wilde is returned to life as an android robot. He's sent on a very sensitive mission. What actually intrigued me at first was it's a kung fu movie, and you can't tell. I mean, it's clear that it's being acted in English, but then they overdubbed English on top of it, so I don't know why they did that. I liked it. Stylistically, it was funny. And then the zombie part, there's a zombie element to this. At one point, zombies and vampires get involved. The zombies are the hopping zombies that we talked about. I forgot what the names of them were. Yeah, the hopping Chinese zombies. And they were very experienced at kung fu, but a lot of their moves were to hop kind of comically at you. This came out in 1988, I believe.
Okay.
This reminds me of the TurboGrafx 16 Vigilante video game, where like a guy is just like on this like bloodlust. He's just like killing everyone he can find.
I like how
so campy.
You're so upper crust. It's a vigilante.
Vigilante.
You're coming out there with this vigilante.
I mean, he looks very, very in this photo. If you want to see it, I mean,
oh yeah,
look at that high kick.
Oh, that's a classic. It's like a Double Dragons and
yep.
There was another one which two guys
right in the face.
Beat him up.
Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage.
Double Dragon.
That's a point. That's a point.
What was the other one? Anyway,
stop while you're ahead.
Something Town.
Yeah, that's
Drug Town.
You could pick up a guy and hit a guy with another guy. Yeah, that was the best move ever.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm blanking on it. Anyway, this one is gonna get like a solid 3.2.
Whoa,
that's not good.
Not a good.
Good for camp, but I mean, it
did you make it all the way through?
Yeah, wow. I saw the end. It just kind of ended. There wasn't really.
It just stops.
the robot android ninja is still out there running amok. So yeah,
hopping around.
Watch out for him.
You know what was crazy when it ended? I didn't see that coming.
I had to look at the little timeline thing. Like, wow, okay, it's over. We still had so much to resolve.
So what was that?
Robo Vampire.
So the movie
Robo Vampire Killer.
Robo Vampire Killer is the movie.
Correct.
And you
sounds
can
like
see
a Bad
that
Brain
on
song.
What?
That was on Amazon Prime. It was
so both
just an
were.
old. Yeah, correct. Okay. I'm just scrolling through Amazon Prime, looking at the weird stuff. Blade 2, saw that again. So that's what I did with my weekend.
Sounds
that sounds awesome. That sounds like a tidy little weekend you had there.
It's tidy. Robo vampire
Tidy little
killer.
tied up into a little weekend box you have.
And now I'm going to play Vigilante.
Vigilante.
On TurboGrafx
Vigilante.
16
So we'll be back in just a little bit. Go do something, have a snack, have a beverage, do a little yoga, and come on back. We've got more to talk about. I'm going to talk about some movies I've seen and some things. And I don't know. I don't think I need to tell you yet. I think you need to be on the edge of your seat waiting to find out exactly what I'm going to talk about.
That's called FOMO.
There you go. You're listening to Fort Fritz.
It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best. How can it be?
Point one.
Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1.
Let's go.
Welcome back to Fort Fritz. I am your host, Fritz, joined as always by Kez.
Hello.
And Mandaddy.
Hi.
Mandaddy, you got into some video games and also, I think, a movie, right?
Yeah, I got some movie and video game type stuff.
What you got
had a media-full weekend, as I like, staying at home and keeping out of society and enjoying stuff that I can just watch. First of all, fun little movie that, when you first look at the surface, it's like, oh my God, really? Jennifer Aniston, Adam Sandler.
Which movie is this?
It's a new Netflix movie called Murder Mystery.
Okay.
And it's just stupid
I don't know
fun.
why I left.
I'll start off even say I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 4. It's like a 4. It's like a decent, fun, stupid movie.
Putting the cart in front of the horse. Okay, finish.
Just doing it. Do you hear about the bassist who is depressed about his timing?
No.
He threw himself behind a bus. So it's Adam Sandler.
Oh, that
it's
hurts
Jennifer.
me. Physically.
It should. Jennifer Aniston, Adam Sandler, it's just exactly what you expect, and it's called Murder Mystery, and so they actually go through and do every trope from murder mystery movies. It's great. There's a weird general that has only one hand. There's always a weird general with one hand in murder mysteries. There's the lights go out when the murder happens so no one can see it. They just do every single little murder mystery trope, and so for that reason, it's just fun and stupid. I grew up liking murder mysteries and the parodies of murder mysteries, like the movie Clue or the movie Murder by Death.
Clue is really fantastic.
Really
it was a board game beforehand. You're saying Murder Mystery was a board game kind of intellect?
Basically, you're talking to Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston. That's exactly what you're getting. You're not going to get some oh my God, it's so much better than I expected. No, it's exactly what you expected. It's Adam. If you enjoy Adam Sandler, if you enjoy Jennifer Aniston, you're going to enjoy this movie. There is a tacked-on car chase. I hate tacked-on car chases. Or in the movie Face Off, which is just a horrible movie.
What are you talking about?
Face Off is a horrible movie.
That's a John Woo, Nicolas Cage, John Travolta classic of the 90s, sir. You can leave immediately.
Just a boat chase. Out of nowhere, boat chase.
Boat chase.
There's no water or anything. All of a sudden, hey, boat chase.
Gina Gershon.
I know. Okay. Yeah, we can't get into this right now. We don't have enough time.
But so that
we understand your passion.
We'll leave that alone for another time. We'll do a whole episode on just Face Off, and so it's just a fun, stupid movie. You're going to get exactly what you're expecting with that duo. Also finished Black Mirror, which wasn't that difficult because there's only 3 episodes this season.
So that was the last season, right?
Well, I don't think it's the final season. I think they're
the most recent season.
Yeah, the most recent one that just came out, and it's just 3 episodes, and it's great. It's really enjoyable. It really does a good job of talking about technology and really kind of pushing the boundaries of where it's going to take us, and it's Twilight Zone about technology. That's what Black Mirror is. That's what it's done really well. It's 3 episodes, got great actors, good twists, and good thought-provoking material, shocking to some people's sensibilities, I would say. The final episode, I think, was my favorite, the one with Miley Cyrus, and it was really cool with her as a pop star that doesn't want to be that pop star anymore, and, things don't go so well for her. And so
boy.
I really enjoyed the new Black Mirror season. Only 3 episodes, though. That's kind of, I just talked about how I like it when they pare down the seasons, not 13-hour-long episodes, but only 3. Come on.
Well, they also
Leave 'em
came
wanting
out
more.
with Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
And that was January of this year, 2019, because that also coincided with our season 3 premiere, which is called Autonomous Decision Selection Game. It's an audio drama based on the Choose Your Own Adventure stories. Several thousands dollars of production value, right?
Yeah, or not millions.
No,
Yeah,
not
so-
millions, but thousands.
Yeah, probably millions. I'd say they got money. Netflix has got so much money. They're throwing money at everything.
So-
I have a comedy special coming up soon on Netflix.
So of the three new episodes and Bandersnatch, how much do you think Bandersnatch took ate into their budget?
I'd say Bandersnatch did a good chunk because having to do all those alternate endings and everything. I mean, it was only.
I think so.
Yeah, you think ended up having 8 hours or 7 hours of released footage. So who knows how much they had to shoot. So
Have you guys actually gone through it?
Do you know? I think I went through it twice. I thought about going through it again, but there's just so much to watch. We are in a golden age of good writing. It is the backlash of the decade of horrible reality shows. That now we have so many well-written TV shows. It's like
Spoiled for choice.
Yeah, and then still there's still times where you'll be sitting there at night and just sitting there flipping through like there's a billion things you could watch. You just can't find that exact thing. I just want to watch that exact thing.
You almost want to watch something you don't want to watch so you can just cut it off and not be invested and sitting there the whole
and
time.
that's how I feel about Swamp Thing right now. Swamp Thing, they're releasing it, an episode a day of a week of Swamp Thing, and we know the series has been canceled, and so you're watching it knowing that's just not going to end well. It's not going to get wrapped up, so it's hard to be invested, but I still enjoy Swamp Thing. It's not a bad show.
Is it the sensitive side of Swamp Thing? Is that what appeals to you, or is it more his...
Is he called Swampy with an I?
When
there a
did you
dream
get into the
sequence?
sensitive side of Swamp Thing? You like just hugging big vegetative masses? I
Isn't
don't get
he,
it.
He's like an environmentalist, right?
Yeah,
Swamp
he is.
Thing?
He actually is a sensitive character because he speaks for the swamp. He is the spirit of the swamp. But then again, aren't we all?
And that all comes from which movie production company?
That's
New
DC
York?
Universe. No, the current series or the original
Not the
movie.
original, yeah.
Original movie?
Oh, I have no
It's
idea.
definitely based out of a Koei, though, right?
Not Trauma. There wasn't a Trauma.
Trauma.
Film.
It was Trauma.
The original Swamp Thing was not a Trauma film. With the one with Adrian Barbeau.
What did I say?
Was she the one that was in Escape from New York?
Yeah, Judge. It was not a Trauma film. Trauma films were. You're thinking of Toxic Avenger.
No.
Are you confusing Toxic Avenger and Swamp Thing? Because if so,
Which
give me your
one?
nerd card.
Maybe.
Which
Give
one
me
is
the
Captain
nerd card.
America?
Give me.
Or not Captain America.
Give me your nerd card.
Does he fight the Mario brothers at any point?
Yes.
Mario.
We're crossing. Okay, so now we've gotten into the parallel universe thing. We're crossing universes. But so
Mario.
check out. I mean, DC Universe. It looks like it doesn't have a good future. Like there's a chance that Warner Brothers wants to start their own streaming platform, and so all the stuff that they're investing in now in DC Universe is either going to be absorbed by that or just canceled. So that's if they do that to Doom Patrol, we riot. Okay,
Oh, my
people,
God, yeah.
we go to the streets. They cancel Doom Patrol. It's on, people. But one of the main things I want to talk about, which is a game that I teased last week that I finished this week, and it only takes you a day or two to finish it, or you can do it in one night if you're staying up. It's What Remains of Edith Finch.
Oh, so good.
This game is like no other, and calling it a game is almost not.
It's an experience.
It's an experience.
Interactive experience.
Well put. This game takes you places, and if you are not at least tearing up a little bit at the end of this game, you are a hardened evil criminal. I don't get it.
It hits you hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
It left
God.
hooks you pretty hard.
It
I heard
really
you,
does.
I heard you last week say that you had just finished the game, I think, the night
No,
prior.
I just started it. No,
Okay.
I had just gone through half of the stories.
But you said that you got a little cloudy eyed.
No, yeah, throughout the game, because basically it's a woman,
A little cloudy eyed.
a woman in her 20s who goes back
All right,
to
that's
figure out why her
that's enough.
family is so hurt, or her family is so cursed. And so she goes back and goes to her family home that she grew up in and explores around. And you're not there. You're making choices, but it's more that you're just getting to experience at what pace you want to. There are parts of the game there are some gameplay elements, and I want to talk about that. It has one of the most innovative things I've ever seen, where because when you read a diary, you become that character, so you get to experience that character's life, and each character has its own art style to it and own amount of interactivity.
Okay.
And so you play a guy who is working at a cannery, And so your right stick is just controlling a hand, and a trout comes down, you grab the trout, you throw the trout over to the right, a big thing comes down and cuts the trout heads off, and you throw it down a chute. And you're just doing that while you're listening to the story about this guy's life. And then it starts talking about how he he likes the job because it's so mundane, he can concentrate on this other world that he's kind of creating in his head. And all of a sudden that other world appears to the left side of the screen. And now you have a little guy you're controlling in that world on the left-hand side with the left stick. And so, but you're still using your right hand to cut fish. And so while you're cutting fish, you're seeing this other world slowly develop and take over the whole screen as this guy gets more involved in his fantasy life. It's just so well done.
The story it was telling while you're having to do this really kind of innovative gameplay mechanic that I hadn't really seen before. I thought that was one of the better scenes in that.
It was
the way
absolutely
that ends too, like it's
the way it ends is just like, and you kind of think it's coming, and then when you see the ending coming, you're like, and because every character ends bad. It's just about you get to see basically the end of every character.
Don't say
it's about
that's
part of it.
It's about a cursed family.
It's about a cursed family.
Well, there you go. That's all
cursed people's lives usually don't end well.
Jesus.
He was cursed, but it ended up great.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they.
All right, let's wrap it up.
But no, it's absolutely just. I mean, it really takes you somewhere, and it does a great job of the storytelling. The voice work in it is really just very understated. The main female actor's voice is just so understated. And the way
it's real, the dialogue and stuff.
It was just honest. It was just honest, and it just really takes you somewhere. So if you're ready for an emotional experience, like I said, it's a game that came out a while ago, but now it's on Xbox, Game Pass, and on the PlayStation Network. So check it out. What Remains of Edith Finch? It is just an emotional ride. All right, but now it's time for us to check out and for you to check out, because you're going to have to get out. But first, there's things that we want you to check out. Kaz, what would you like us to check out this week?
Oh, man. I completely blanked on the checkout.
Fritz, what would you like us to check out this week?
So there was a band a couple years ago called Typo Negative.
Peter
Steele, yep. And I've recently fallen back in love with Typo Negative.
Really? I can see you being into Typo Negative. Now I think about it, that actually the math checks out.
Listen to his voice. The guy was like vampiric.
And huge. The guy was huge.
Absolutely huge.
In a lot of ways.
My first show that I ever saw was Typo Negative opening up for Rollins Band, opening up for Ozzy Osbourne.
Where was this? At Ozfest?
Amway Arena.
Oh.
And
wow, that's a good lineup.
It was just like fun as hell, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check out Typo Negative again. He was 6'8".
Yeah,
so there you go. Check out Peter Steele.
The guy that produced most of our albums did some work with him too. He said he's a trip to work with. So, Kaz, what would you like us to check out?
Actually, don't check it out. We'll check it out just for the terribleness of it. But it was a movie called Deathstalker. You ever see Deathstalker? It's like a sword and.
Oh yeah, old school, like 80s.
Yeah, I think it was in the 80s. It was super camp, super cheese. Not even watchable to the level of Robo Vampire Killer. It was just terrible. It was just like a really bad
was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was terrible. It was like kind of trying to be Willow, but like a Willow. Imagine Willow, but like a sexploitation.
Oh, I don't want to. No, that's awful.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So wait, it's like puppet sex exploitation.
I mean, puppets were involved.
Okay.
We are tiptoeing that FCC line right now. We got to really
edging on that.
You guys read the memo.
There were mad puppets. What do you want me to say? Like, there's puppets.
You guys read the memo I sent out today about the puppets and how the FCC.
You gotta stay away from puppets.
now more than ever.
People are freaking out about the puppets, yo.
Cool it on the puppets.
Yeah, this is.
You guys have been going really close to that edge.
That puppet edge.
But they're so hot. No, you can't.
There he goes again.
You can't do that. Mandaddy, what would you like us to check out?
As always, please come out and check out my trivia nights. I do trivia first and third Mondays over at Orlando Brewing at 7 o'clock with a $25 bar tab prize. I do it Tuesdays at Lucky's Market in Vineland from 5 to 7. And then, of course, I'm at Cheers Altamont. Cheers Altamont on Thursdays at 7 o'clock. There's a $30 bar tab being up for grabs if you want to come out. And on June 29th of this month, June 29th, my band Gargamel will be playing at the Iron Cow with a bunch of great bands. This is our first time at the Iron Cow. This will be kind of my birthday show, even though my birthday was the week before. But that's kind of my birthday show. So come out June 29th. Check out my band Gargamel. We'll be playing at the Iron Cow. Well, I mean, it is time to check out, and everybody's got to get out. But you did a great job last time, and people really enjoyed your gentle touch. So, Kaz, could you get everybody out of here?
We had so many text messages.
So, yeah, we're going to... Guys, everyone actually gather around over here. We're going to go as a group towards the door. Let's go.
There they go.
You guys can stay. Just go to the side. Go to the back over there.
Dude, he's doing it again. No one gets out of the door.
They don't need to leave if they don't want to leave.
They're not your friends. They're not your friends. They're just using you to get into the fort, man.
My friend. I got him a shirt.
Yeah, see? And now he's got a shirt, and that's what he got.
They're not going towards the exit.
Yeah, they're not leaving.
Did you tell them they can stay here again?
Yeah, are you getting... Oh,
that's fine. I'm
not fine with it.
You don't live here.
Bimbley, you guys got to go.
Crop and Brimbley? What?
Those are my friends. Those are the friends that I made there.
I hate your friends' names.
They have media passes.
Brimbley. Guys, all right, get out.
Oh,
no more.
Get out.
You too as well. Both of you guys get out too.
No, we're the ones who stay. We stay, they leave. That's how this works.
Mandaddy, you heard him. Come on, let's go.
Okay, let's go. You want to go to the chicken joint?
I would love to.
Oh, okay, we're going to go to the chicken joint.
Everyone to the chicken joint, guys. We're going to the chicken joint.
You've been listening. I didn't know where to go with that. I was trying to think of chicken puns or something, and nothing came out.
Yeah.
Like the guy in the back was going to the
It's about clucking
nothing.
time.
Dude!
Oh, there you go.
Dude, it's about clucking time. We're going to the chicken joint. You've been listening to Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1.
Until next time, pleasant dreams.